Welcome back to Tsem Rinpoche's Paranormal Zone. Yes, guess who? It's me, Lee Kim, and I will be your host. Remember several weeks ago, I interviewed JP Thong, and I told you that he will be back because he's got many stories. I'm not personally obsessed with him, but apparently friends from the other side seem to be obsessed with him because they just keep hanging around and partying with JP. Well, here we have JP Thong again. So now, there was the whole 1989 episode.
Yes.
Shadow Man in New York. And then you're back now.
Yes.
You said that at one time there was a little bit of slowdown in activities.
Slow down for 3 years, and then when I went to a trip to Europe, I had another encounter. But then after that, 10 years later, then I had an onslaught of encounters again.
Okay, so that was like a trailer to your... It was like a trailer, okay, let's just give you low doses
Yes.
first, JP, then we're going to make you a star 10 years later. So you're back in KL,
Yes.
and this, I believe, happens at home.
Yes. This happened 10 years ago when it happened. Well, I saw a trend that every time when my family and I would go to the cemetery, like for Tsem Rinpoche or the 7th month, and my grandma's birthday or the day that she dies. So 5 times a year I'd go with my family, and every time after I come back, then there'll be somebody there, as in the spirit will be there. So this time it was a Chinese lady. So what happened was,
you gotta follow the trend. 10 years ago, we're picking up people at clubs, not at cemeteries. Okay. So this was one of the many encounters, and I don't exactly know which year, but anyways, it's one of those whereby I'm deep in my sleep, and all of a sudden my eyes will be wide open, and then there'll be somebody standing right next to my bed. But do you know you've woken up, or it just happens?
It just happens, whereby I'll be in deep sleep, and then my eyes just opens like that, and then I'll be looking around because I know that's a signal that there's something there.
It's like just in the movies how suddenly ching, ding, 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 ding. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, that was Jaws. Okay.
So what happened was when I woke up, then I saw this lady standing right next to me, and it was very clear because it looked like she had long hair, and she was wearing a white dress just like in the movies.
Was there like blood dripping
No,
everywhere?
but she was very pale, and it was like a hologram where I could see through her. So, and even before her, I've seen a few other spirits already, but never. I was never scared.
Okay, I gotta ask this question. Before all this, you went to the cemetery and stuff, but in between, did you watch a ghost movie or some horror flick that kind of triggered you or something? Or
No.
no?
Nothing.
No, I guess he really doesn't need to watch any horror films because it seems to be happening live for him, huh?
So then, so I freaked out for the first time.
Because she's scary, right?
Because she looked exactly like the typical spirit in the movie.
So it looks real. She looks real.
She looked real.
And scary.
No, she was very sad. She looked very sad. That was the first thing that I felt, that she was very sad. She was very depressed, and she was looking down like this. And she was sitting next to my legs. And then when she saw me looking at her, then she drifted towards me, next to my body. So I freaked out because I didn't know what she's going to do with me. So what I did was, because I freaked out.
I'm wondering too what she would have done with you. Okay.
So I took my comforter and I just covered my head, and I was, and I was really scared.
Yeah.
So then.
What were you telling her? Did you scream at her?
No.
Did you?
I was so scared that I just hid, just like that, and then I was trying to calm myself down because my mom always says, "Don't panic, because when you panic, the spirits will get you." So I
and
always
your family actually knows you have this
encounters, and my mom always say, "Don't just don't be scared. You didn't hurt them. They won't do anything to you." So that's why I always remember. So I calmed myself down, and then in my mind I said, "Please leave me alone. This is my room. I don't know what you want, but just leave me alone."
So it was a mental conversation. It
A
wasn't like
mental
you were
conversation.
shouting under your comforter.
No. So after saying that, then I waited, and and nothing happened. So then, just like in the movies, I was like, I looked around, and she was gone. So
She didn't. So this time, unlike Shadow Man in New York, you saw a face.
I saw
There were
a face with body.
Right. And even an expression of sadness.
Yeah, very, very clearly. But it's just that it was like a hologram. I couldn't see the legs. Yeah, she was like hovering. Yeah. Just like
And when
in the
she
movies.
came near, did you like feel a brush or something?
No. Immediately, I just covered my head already.
You didn't. She didn't like.
No. No.
Did she come back?
No. None of my encounters actually come back. It was just like a passing thing. So
What are you in? A ghost airport?
Every encounter.
Transit counter, ghost airport.
No, every encounter is a new spirit, I think. Or they come in different forms.
All right. Did you? Man, scary. And how do you personally or mentally or emotionally cope with all this? I mean, they seem to be like.
I was never afraid. I was never afraid because I don't know. I thought I would many years ago when I was a kid. I'd always tell my mom that I would die. I would die of a heart attack if I see a spirit. But when I actually do see them, it was not as scary as I thought.
Yeah.
And actually, a lot of them were pretty sad.
Yeah.
So yeah, it never crossed my mind. But back then, because I was suffering from insomnia as well.
Right.
So every time when they wake me up in my sleep, I get very frustrated and I'll be angry at them for waking me up. So yeah, so I say, I'll always say, please leave me alone, and that's it.
Do you, because they were happening to you so regularly?
No, only 5 times. 5 times a year.
5 times.
5 times a year.
5 times a year. That's quite a number of years now, But Cho, so do you? I don't mean to sound weird, but do you end up talking to them?
I don't have a conversation because my friend said, why don't you find out what you want? Oh, not what I want, what they want. And I said, I don't know whether or not I can handle it because I can handle seeing them, but if they start talking to me, I don't know whether or not I'll freak out. So I never did.
I remember you have, seeing them, and did you eventually develop, also start hearing them and having a related scent?
I could smell them. Yeah, I could smell them, and my first encounter of realizing that you can smell them is when during my first job in KL, and I smelled something very fishy and very musky, like decay as well.
Like the whole toothbrush thingy?
Yeah,
but
same
stronger?
smell, much stronger. And my colleague said, "Oh, don't talk about it." I said, "Why not?" They said, "Oh, this place is haunted." So ever since then, I knew that if I smelled something like that, then it was an indication that there is something in my room. So there are many times in my room before I actually see the spirit, I actually smell it first, and then I would know that it's there. And the scent is not throughout my room. It's that you have to stand in a particular spot
Right.
to smell it, and that was very weird.
Because that's where they are standing or where they are?
I can't explain, but it's just in that particular spot, and the spot can go from from here to there.
So it's not like a whole room aroma thingy, it's kind of specific, but the spot
It's
changes?
a localized smell. Yeah.
Right. Very sharp, huh? He's got the visuals and the smell sense and things like that. And anything more? As time went on, did you?
More then I sense them coming, and I always question myself because I'm quite cynical in a way that I don't want to talk about it, and I don't want to make people think that I'm off.
But you are.
No, a little bit.
You mean
but,
you never spoke to anybody and never went to get help?
No, I just told my mom because my mom, is also quite sensitive, and I asked her, did you see anything? Because I saw that last night.
Right.
And she said no, and she will always blame that blame me with my dark curtains that I have in my room. That your room is too dark. You got to air it out and have more sunlight come in. So because it's dark, then you attract all these spirits. I was like, okay. So every day I would air my room, open up my curtains, but it didn't help. And she would ask my aunt, to go to her Taoist temple to get a blessed handkerchief from a deity. So because I had so many encounters, and she gave me so many that and I'm supposed to put it on my headboard. I have a pile of it on my headboard, and I tell my mom it doesn't work.
So
and then my dad started accusing me.
So very soon you can make a little business, fold it up and say, yeah.
And my dad said, no, he's lying. He's just saying this so that he'll wake up late to go to work late.
What'd you do? How come you overslept? Why, I was busy talking to Miss So-and-so and Mr. So-and-so. Okay.
Yeah.
So you never kind of explored what you could do with these abilities?
No, not really, but until 6-7 years ago when I started, when it became worse, whereby my
What do you
son-
mean by worse? I mean, did you,
It
did they start
more-
staying?
It
And
became more than five times a year, and then there are certain times that I didn't even go to the cemetery with my parents, and I'd see them. So when I told my friends about it, then my friends said, hey, why don't you talk to this friend of mine, and she's into this New Age healing.
so it started to get worse because you didn't need to go to where they hang out. They were just popping out. Even though you avoided the cemeteries, they were just starting to kind of drop in.
Yes. Then I started questioning,
Okay.
what is it about me that they want?
Okay. And did you get any answers? Did you go to your New Age friend?
I consulted my New Age friend, and she said that I have that my aura is predominantly green and indigo, which is a sign that I'm a healer. So it is a gift that I have, and they sense that, and they want me to help them. That was her explanation.
Oh, you mean the spirits and the free roaming spirits?
Yes.
See that.
Yes,
Okay.
and they wanted my help.
Right.
So that was her explanation.
And then what did you do with this information?
She said that I could actually help them cross over. And it was very new.
Crossover as in rest in peace or settle down?
As in, not. I didn't quite understand, but I guess to cross over to a much better place. If you've watched Ghost Whisperer, how she does it, calling out the white light, and then set them to cross over, using the white light.
Where
That's
they
what I
would
did.
kind of rest and kind of maybe come
Rest
back.
in peace, or go to somewhere. To me, my understanding is to go somewhere better, and not be in the spirit realm.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Well, I hope you enjoyed that story with JP. I don't know, I find it amazing when JP shares all these stories, and it's just inexplainable. There's no logic, there's no rationale, and I'm sure many of us out there, even for JP himself, he tries to make sense of it until it's just happening quite often, that you just take it as it is, So, like I always say, whether you believe it or not, whether you've seen it before, maybe there's one just sitting right next to you right now.